Hello everyone, I am Sulekha Ram, Assistant Professor BLMC. Today I am talking on the topic from the course Teaching of Mathematics. So here I include some of the instructional strategies, that is from Unit 3, Instructional Strategies and Methods of Teaching Mathematics. So here I have included analytic and synthetic method. So in this particular discussion I have included meaning of analytic method, meaning of synthetic method, and one example, merits of analytic method, demerits of analytic method, merits of synthetic method, demerits of synthetic method, and a comparative study of analytic and synthetic method. So after studying this each and every method, so we have seen that they are just touching only the theoretical part. For example, if you are talking about analytic method, they will just say what is analytic method, the meaning, merits and demerits. But beyond that, we have seen that nobody is applying that in the classroom. So that is why I have included a particular example. Through this example, I will try to explain how you can apply this analytic method as synthetic method, and from that example you can come to the conclusion that which method is better and how long it can be used in the usual classroom. So even during the teaching practice, nobody is using any method. So second semester you are studying all this method, and third semester you are going for teaching practice, but I haven't seen they will write in the lesson plan analytic method, synthetic method, but nobody has the clear idea how you will apply this in order to solve a particular problem, or in order to find out, derive some formula, to find out some principles, theorem. So here we concentrate mainly on the example. Through the example we can see that how we can apply in the actual classroom this analytic and synthetic method. So before going through the example, first you understand what is analytic method. So it's a etymological word, it is analytic, which is derived from the word analysis. So analysis means take apart or to separate the things that are together. So the things which are together, we have to separate it, or breaking the things into its smaller parts. If it is a very big concept, if you divide into small parts, it will be easy to understand. And the main principle behind it is we proceed it from unknown to known. Whatever be the unknown facts we have, from that we will ask what we have to find out, or what is to be find out. Then what are the informations are given in the question or given in the data, then we will come to the known part, and the further steps and possibilities which may connect unknown with the known and find out the result which is desired. So the main characteristic of this is we break up all the things which are together and we proceed from unknown to known. Then what is synthetic method? Synthetic method just opposite of analytic method. Here it proceeds from known to unknown. So already we told that it is just opposite of analytic method. And the synthesize means the things which are apart or which are spread or which are broken, we will gather together or we will place together. So it starts with something already known and connects that with unknown part of the statement. That is the process of putting together non bits of information to reach the point where unknown information becomes obvious and true. So usually in the practical situation, always we are telling this analytic and synthetic method together. So why it is like that? So suppose we are finding some principles, yeah, some theorems, we will find out using analytic method. Then using the synthetic method you can easily apply for that. That is why always we are using this analytic and synthetic method in so or one is complement of the other and we are using it. Just like inductive deductive method, this also we are using together. So now we will come to an example. So here what I am going to do, one example is given and I will show that how this particular problem is doing using analytic method as well as the synthetic method. So from that you can understand how you proceed, and from the examination point of view also just write the meaning of analytic, yeah, merits or demerits. So from this particular example you can understand the benefit of this and how long it can be used and what is the benefit of using this, and the demerits also you can understand, and you have to apply this at, in your classroom also. Even for all the topics and all the lessons, if you don't apply it, because it is very lengthy process, but still one or two problem you can do using this, because everybody is thinking that mathematics it is a very difficult subject. So to remove that type of attitude, yeah, that kind of prejudice from the mind of the student, and make it very clear to the student, whatever you are going to do, it should be very clear to the student, and as a teacher you should not leave any kind of doubts in the students. So here I have taken the example, prove that the diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other. It's a very simple example, and any classes 6, 7, 8, any class they can understand this. So how will you start? What is to be proved will be proceed before the students. The relevant diagram will be drawn and then analysis will proceed. So according to the question, here we have drawn parallelogram ABCD and the diagonals AC and BD. Then so after drawing the figure only you have to start. So instead of saying we have a problem, let us suppose that ABCD is a parallelogram, then you have to prove that these diagonals are equal, yeah, the diagonals bisect each other. So instead of that we draw the figure and make it clear that what is to be proved here. So here ABCD is a parallelogram which is given, and we have to prove these two diagonals AC and DB bisect each other. Then using this analytic method, how do you prove it? So here how do you proceed? So from the beginning, from the example we told that we are starting from unknown to known. So we start to ask the questions, what is to be proved? So whenever the teacher start to solve a problem, so instead of giving all the answers directly, teacher can keep on asking questions and let the student say the answer. So and let the student to find out the answer, and let them find out the logic behind it, let them find out the reason behind it, without leaving any kind of doubts. They have to prove it. So first question we are asked is, what is to be proved? So here ABCD is a parallelogram, AC and BD are the diagonals. So what we have to prove here? AC and BD bisect each other. Then what is given here? what are the things are given? Let the student say the answer. ABCD is a parallelogram. AC and BD are two diagonals which intersect at O. So this figure we have shown there. According to that figure, they will say the answer. So we have to prove AO is equal to OC and BO is equal to OD. We have bisect each other means we have to prove, since it bisect at O, we have to prove AO is equal to OC and BO is equal to OD. Then again you ask question, what parts in the figure therefore are to be proved? AO is equal to OC and BO is equal to OD. How can you prove these parts equal? So we came to know that we had to prove these two parts are equal. Now the next question it is, how do you prove it? So which are the parts are required in order to prove these two portions are equal? So they will think about different hypotheses. So they will say if we can prove triangle AOD and triangle BOC or triangle AOB and triangle COD are congruent. Suppose if they did not say the answer, you can ask more questions so that they can come to the answer. And in order to prove two triangles are equal or two triangles are congruent, they have studied different kinds of or different conditions, congruence conditions they have studied. For example, side by SSS congruent condition, ASA, SAS, RHS. So these are the different congruence conditions they have studied. Then let them find out by observing the figure which congruence condition we can apply here. Let them think about it and let them come up with the answer. So how can you prove triangle AOB and triangle COD are congruent? So they will think about the conditions. For this we will have to think about the conditions of proving two triangles are equal. So I told you different conditions are there. So in that particular condition they will think, can we apply SS condition here? Can we apply SAS condition here? Yeah, can we apply ASA condition? So let them go for the hypothesis and let them come up with the correct hypothesis. So in view of these conditions, what elements therefore should be proved equal? So we have to prove two angles and a side of both angles are equal. So here the possibility they find out that if we have two angles on one side, they can prove it congruent. So what pairs of the angles and sides are possible in this present situation? So in this triangle, which are the angles we can take and how we can prove it equal? So here if you take triangle AOB and triangle COD, so angle AOB is equal to angle COD because they are vertically opposite angles. Angle CDO is equal to angle ABO because they are alternate angles. Angle DCO is equal to angle BAO, alternate angles. Again you can ask, keep on questions, how did they come to that conclusion? Because they are telling alternate angles are equal. They are so why they are telling they are alternate angle? So how do alternate corresponding angles are appear in this figure? Because AB and CD are parallel. Because we start with the problem that in a parallelogram the diagonals bisect each other. So since AB and CD are parallel, the alternate angles will be, so two parallel lines cut by a transversal, alternate interior angles are equal, corresponding angles are equal. These properties already they have studied. So when may AB and CD become parallel? Because ABCD is a parallelogram. Even they are very clear about it, you can avoid this question, but still you know that some students will be there, they might have forgotten about these properties, so you can refresh that or you can ask questions, simple questions, so that no doubt will be left in the student. So that what did you get? So you got two pair of alternate angles are equal and one included side is here. So which congruent condition you can use here? Using ASA congruent condition. Therefore triangle AOB is congruent to triangle COD. So what we got, a side AO is equal to OC and DO is equal to BO. CPCT means corresponding parts of the congruent triangle. So we have proved that these two triangles are congruent using ASA condition. So using this ASA condition, we have proved that these two parts, that is AO is equal to OC, DO is equal to BO. If two parts are equal, which means the diagonals bisect each other, means half you got. So what is the inference we got here? Diagonals bisect each other. So we started with the unknown part. So whenever you use this analytic method, you don't stop only with the by asking one or two questions. So you keep on asking questions, because analytic means we are analyzing everything which is coming together, or which is together we are spreading it, or we are breaking it. We are making it very small part. We analyze it, which means why it happens like this, how it happens like this. So if the teacher start to do the problems like this, the students also will develop a habit of asking question like this. So when they go home and do the homework, let them keep on asking questions by themselves. It is not necessary that always the teacher should ask, the parent should ask the question. So by practice, they will do from the class. After that, they can keep on asking questions by themselves, why it happened like this. So let them find out answer by themselves, so that it will remain constant in their mind, so that they can clear all the doubts. Then the same question, how do you do using the synthetic method? So question is given. So synthetic method, what is the speciality? We are starting from the known part. So what is given? We will start with given. ABCD is a parallelogram. AC and BD are two diagonals which intersect each other at O. And what we have to prove? AO is equal to OC and BO is equal to OD. So how do you prove it? Triangle AOB and COD, we proved it. These two triangles are congruent. And so AB equal to CD, opposite. So triangle AOB congruent to triangle COD. So AO is equal to OC and BO is equal to OD. So by one or two steps we learn. So this method is also we will apply, because all the two of this method we cannot say one is overhead to other, but in some situation, because all the questions, so in the analytic method we saw that it is very lengthy and it is very time consuming, but at least one or two problems you can use this. Then suppose they got all the correct answer, then they can go for the synthetic method. So according to the time available, or according to the situation, or according to the importance of a question, or according to the difficulty level of the question, the teacher can decide which method can be used, and according to the level of students also. So these two, so we saw that one example, how do you proceed using this analytic method and synthetic. So always we see that we will write, as I said in the earlier, analytic method, synthetic method, everybody knows that, but they don't know how to apply that and how to explain with an example. Now from this discussion you can see what are the merits of the analytic method. So it is a logical method, because everything is explained it properly, and everything there is a reason behind it. Why do you come to this particular condition, or why do you? So here also we used as a condition because we have the justification for that. Why didn't you use SSS condition? Because we have the justification for that. So it is a very logical method. Second point, it facilitates understanding urge to discover fact. So here the teacher is asking question and students are telling the answer. Sorry, teachers are asking the question and students are telling the answers. So they are the discoverers, not the teachers. So it is procedure that is generalized in a very general manner. We are not how it is coming like this. As it process is coming, we are developed that. Then throughout they faced with such question, how to prove the equality of two angles. So they are thinking it very intelligently and the method suit the learner and the subject. So learner, so they are finding out it is a learner centered approach method and subject. So you know that mathematics, everybody is telling that it is very abstract subject. So how even students, they don't know how did they come to the answer. So teacher is writing on the board and students are copying that. So lot of doubts are coming in that. So that kind of things are not happening here. So according to the nature of the subject, the teacher is asking and teacher is connecting to the live situation and explaining it properly. So it is very suited for the in order to remove the prejudice that it is a very difficult subject, yeah, very boring subject, yeah, very abstract subject. Then demerits, it is lengthy method. So you so that how much time we use for it, and it is very difficult to acquire efficiently and speed. You know that in a period we cannot do more than so many problems because time limited. So how much problems we can finish within a particular time, so that is very difficult. It may not be applicable to all topics equally well. So since whatever the demerits are, according to my suggestion, at least one problem you have to use, because if you take a suppose we have a formula, so that formula, why do you apply that, or how we apply that, so that kind of things. So ask some questions from the students and let them find out the justification for that. So it won't be that much time consuming, and we can use it, and it will develop a habit of asking questions the students also. Let them ask the questions by themselves and find out the answer by themselves. Then merits of synthetic methods. So two methods we saw, and how did we solve the problem. So it is short and elegant method, because within 2-3 steps we are not doing anything, just we wrote the answer without asking anything, and within a short period we can do as many problems as you want. It glorified memory. It suits teacher. So for a teacher it is very easy, because teacher let them write the answer on the board and let the student copy that. There is no any interaction between the teacher and the student, and it follows the same process as given in the textbook. So in the textbook you can you know that the answer, even in the example also textbook, it is just given that only, but even the student, they don't try to understand why it happened like that. They don't ask any questions the teacher also, as well as the teacher doesn't ask any question to the students also. So it just follow the things which is given in the textbook, but it is the duty of the teacher to make them to understand. That is why we are going for the analytic method. The demerits of synthetic method: it leaves many doubts in the mind of the learner and offers no explanation for. So we saw that example when we did that example. So we told that we had to prove the congruence. Then why we are proving? If we are proving which condition we are using and why this particular condition is suited for this. So that kind of many questions are coming, but no any answer for that. So without a satisfactory answer to so many questions arise in synthesis, the people is perplexed when a new problem is put to him. So synthetic method we said only 4 steps are there. Suppose they by hearted that. And the same case, suppose that kind of question is coming in another situation, they are not able to do that, and it is very difficult to recall all the things whatever they did there. So it does not provide full understanding. That already it is very clear from this. There is no scope for discovery and thinking on in this method. So teacher is writing on the board, students are just copying that. No chance for thinking, and whenever there is no any chance for thinking or and they are not discovering anything, so memory work and homework are likely to become heavy. This why they are memorize all these things, because there is no any justification why did they write that. Okay, so without any logic they are by hearting all these things. So it does not suit the learner and the subjects. So as I told before, since we are the teacher is not making the things clear to the student, that is why they are, even it is a very simple question, they give the justification for each and every step, then the student will also understand. After that they will also try to do like that, so that they can remove the this prejudice about this mathematics, which is a very difficult subject or a very abstract subject. So any subject which suppose they are feeling it little bit difficult, so don't go for this type of method. Try to make them to understand, then they will go, they do the and they will repeat that. Now here we are just seeing a comparative study of the two methods. So whatever the things we already discussed, we are just revising that. Okay, so nothing is new in this particular, but when we discussed about the example, when we discussed about the merits and demerits meaning, so whatever we have seen in that particular cases, we are just summarizing all the points here. So we are testing analytic method and synthetic method, and we are putting the points together in order to give a comparative study. It proceeds from unknown to known fact, and synthetic method it proceeds from known to unknown. So we saw that how it was happening. It starts from the conclusion and goes to the hypothesis. So from the analytic method in that particular example, we saw that we have to think about starts from the conclusion, means we have to prove that the two parts are equal. So for prove that equal, what are the things we have to do? So we are going for different hypotheses. It starts with the hypothesis and ends with the conclusion. Here what we are doing, we are just guessing and coming to the conclusion. It is the process of thinking, lot of, because teacher is asking question, the students are asking question, they are finding the answer and they are thinking too, they are discovering the answers. And so analytic it is a process of thinking, but synthetic it is a product. So what we thought, what the teacher thought, there is no any idea, but we got only the product. So it is a process of exploration. For example, the product of thought, we told that using the condition, any condition we proved it is congruent. So we are not asking that why we are proving it, or why did we use only that particular condition. There is no any answer for that, so we are giving only or getting only the product. It is a process of exploration and demands thought. Same process. It is a process of presentation of the previously discovered fact. So already they know that if we prove it is congruent, then we can prove it is these two parts are equal. So they did that. So there is no any exploration there. So then it pulls apart or analyzes the statement under solution. It puts together, synthesizes non-fact. Okay, so that is in the meaning already we discussed. Then it is lengthy and involves trial and error. So we told that we are asking so many questions, and why it is called it a trial and error, because suppose for example we took that we had to prove it congruency, so we are just asking which condition, because we have studied different congruence condition, then so we are applying, can we prove it for SSS, can we prove it by using RHS, everything we are thinking. So we are keep on trialing, and then it is not possible, then we are trying for the next method. So there is a chance for doing all these things, but in synthesis, because it is a product also, so it is very concise and elegant, quick, straightforward, and does without any trial and error. So it answers satisfactorily any question that may arise in the mind of an intelligent people. Teacher is asking question, at the same time the child is asking the questions to himself. It does not satisfy the doubts and questions arising in the mind of the learner. That also already we discussed. It is a method for thinker and discoverer. So it is a method for the grammar. So grammar is those who wanted. So in many cases we have seen that some students are just by hearting or cramming all the things together. So why it is happening like that? Because they are not getting any chance to find out any answer. Yeah, they are not asked any questions by the teacher. Okay, so whatever in many situations we have seen that then the teacher also will be saying different reasons for that. The syllabus is very heavy, or we have to finish too much of syllabus during the short period. So it is a very easy method for the teacher also write it on the board and make the students to copy whatever they are writing. So only the thing is happening there, only the cramming whatever is happening in the class. So there are close contacts between teacher and taught. Why it is happening like that? Because teacher is while doing the problem, teacher is asking many number of questions. At the same time, the students also getting chance to clear their doubt and ask question to the teacher also. But in the synthetic method there is no any chance for that, because only the summary is writing. In that summary what is happening, how it happened, there is no any answer for that. Then the student analytic method, the student can recall and reconstruct easily any steps if they forgotten, because they are asking questions by themselves, or teacher is asking the questions by to the student. So it is very easy to reconstruct or recollect. It is not easy to recall or construct any forgotten steps. Why it is happening like that? Because they have just crammed it. So something is missing, they are not able to because they did not understand how did it come like that. So it is very difficult to develops originality and develops memory. So each and every steps we are analyzing, and we are finding the answers for the question. So it happened to original process, but here it only the memorization, informal and formal. Why it is informal? There is no any structured manner, because there is no any rule like that. The teacher should ask this number of questions. Yeah, the teacher student should answer this answer. When the teacher asks the question, it is not necessary that the student will say the same answer what the teacher expect. It can be different also, but in order to come to that answer, again the teacher can ask many questions. So but in this synthetic method, it is formal, because step by step it is already summarized there. So there is no any um, gap for informal contact between the teacher and the taught. It is psychological. Why it is saying it is psychological? Because it is clearly the learner centered. We are giving more importance to the students, but in synthetic method we are giving only the importance to the teachers means logical. The reason is there. Teacher have the reason why did they write it, but student they don't have any answer for that. So it is based on heuristic line. Heuristic means I find out, means the student is finding out the answer. There is no heuristic approach, because there is no any chance for discovering anything in the approach. It is forerunner of synthesis. It is the follower of analysis. So forerunner of synthesis means before synthesizing something, we are going for the deep analysis of that particular problem. But in synthetic method, we it is a follower, mean after analytic only we are using the synthetic. For example, if you are finding any principle, so using analytic method, suppose you wanted to derive a formula, so using analytic method you can derive the formula, then directly you can apply that when you do the problem. So that is a synthesis. So it is the follower of analysis. So here I have given some readings which is related to this teaching of mathematics. So you can just go through that. And also these methods are common, but any pedagogy subject you will get all this method. Only the difference is how that particular example will suit for this particular method from the your pedagogical area. So how, suppose if you are taking any content related to science, social science, so that should be taken to consider. But this we based only on the mathematics problem, but the meaning and other things are same as for all the pedagogical subject. Then you can go for the suited example for it. So I hope you got understood this method, how to apply it through the example. So it is the suggestion, means whenever you go to real classroom, or after getting the job, or when you write the exam also, if you write the answer with the support of any example, that answer will give more impression, and it is very easy to impress the evaluators also. So whenever you try to do these things, please explain with a proper example. It need not be the long process. You can, so according to the time available, you can take any small example. For example, if you are taking area of a triangle, so there also you can ask so many questions. What we had to find out here, what is given here, and if you are using the formula half BH, are the all the data is given in the question or not. If it is not given, how do you find out that? So very small question also you can find according to the time availability. We can analyze according to the